Ladies and gentlemen, Gay Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up about 0.8% on the S&P. Looks like NASDAQ and semiconductor outperformed, led the market today. NASDAQ is up 2%, semiconductor is up 2%, a little more there. Small caps is negative 0.7%. Looks like banks and energy, which have been outperforming the last a month or so, they taking a breather today. Transport is pretty much flat. We got biotech up about 1.5% there. Grayscale Bitcoin is down 6.5%. Gold and silver continue to struggle there. And Treasury bond is about 1%. Let's stick with the S&P. Spider 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed on Friday, right? This is where we closed on Friday. And this is today's action right here. And we gapped up slightly, it looks like right here, right? That gap was never filled. That's a good sign. That gap is still open. With that, on the first hour, we saw that candle here continuing to move to the upside and actually broke above that micro-term pivot right here, that prior resistance there. We broke above it on the first hour, and the second hour, we were able to recapture that short-term moving average. And this is something we talked about on the weekend video. This was important, that the buyers want to take back the control. They must reclaim the short-term moving average. They did that on the second hour. This is important because that short-term moving average is actually pretty strong pivot. What I mean by pivot, well, it means it was prior resistance here, and then it flipped bullish right here. And you know what happened ever since then? We saw a very nice bullish move to the upside. And then even here, we found some support right on that short-term moving average for a couple of days. We finally lost that short-term. We were there about a day or two here. And then today, we reclaimed that short-term moving average. And so we want to assume that short-term moving average is going to start to support the buyers. So you can see this was a second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour. So we rallied pretty much all day long ever since we reclaimed that short-term. And then on the last hour, we pulled back potentially prior resistance or prior support, acting as new resistance there. And with that, you can see we saw the red candle on the last hour. And so now the price wants to discover this short-term moving average as a potentially new support, right? So I think going into tomorrow, I would have to say the 391, right? 391-ish area for micro-term bullishness, the buying pressure to continue. We want to hold above 391-ish. If we want that micro term, when I say micro term, I mean that recent last couple days of bullish action, the buying pressure to continue. So there's that short term right there. We got 391, right? That's an important pivot. Also, you can see that that's kind of that confluence zone there. And here you can see that's a prior support and the resistance potentially come back down, retest that one more time before making a move. In the micro term, we are in an uptrend. We got the low, higher, high, and we got that cultivation of that higher high. So buyers want to continue in the micro term so that the ultimately what buyers want to do is go up here and fill this gap that's been causing trouble, at least for several days here, right? Ever since that gap wasn't filled, that's when that selling pressure came about. But with that, it looks like tweezer bottom there. With that tweezer bottom and a gap up coinciding with that potential higher low. Because with that, today's move, what that did was it provided that, we got that low and provided that micro term higher low. With that, we got that high. And on the second hour, we cultivate that higher high. In that process, reclaim that short-term moving average. So I have to say, with reclaiming that short-term moving average, price staying above certain levels, I want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term. Let's kind of zoom out, and I want to kind of look at like maybe a bigger picture here, right? Maybe more a midterm here. So we talked about this level here. Right, this was a prior gap area. We we covered this on the weekend video. That's where we found support coinciding with my not short term, but my first level of Fibonacci there. You can see it right there. Also coinciding with that falling resistance acting as new support. So that was a lot of support level coinciding, colliding in that vicinity, gap area filled, falling resistance acting as new support, and the first level of Fibonacci there. And then you can see we made a move. And we also talked about on the weekend video that market is going to make its move, and it wants to discover that higher low, right? Looking at things more about midterm here, higher low. That's what the market is trying to discover. And looks like as of now, that might be that potential higher low the market has been looking at. And that's a high, and market is possibly going to, getting ready, prepared to cultivate that higher high in the midterm. So I think ultimately we want to hold above 390 for this the micro term bullish momentum to continue to the upside. Let's check out that oscillator here real quick. So oscillator did cross. You can see there, and it looks like it's looking pretty healthy at this moment, right? It doesn't look like there's going to be any whipsawing or anything like that. That's a fully crossed here. So if you're just going to go back and do a little research, usually when they cross, they're usually cross near the overbought level. It usually likes to go all the way to the top of its band. Usually, right? It's not 100% thing. That means we want to assume, we want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. We want to assume that the oscillator probably want to go all the way back up to the top of its band, and that means price might want to follow and go up and fill this gap. Let's see how it plays out tomorrow. You guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.